All right, let's talk about Punk Hazard, and we're actually going to talk about not just one volume, not just four volumes. We're going to talk about all of Punk Hazard, which is like 5 volumes and some change.
Yeah,
Jeez.
So we
It's
might. Someone decided to all of a sudden read a lot, so this is what we got to do. I might split this in two because I could see it going long. But
yeah, Bradley. What was your motivation to just read? Like,
I just felt like it.
okay,
the story begins as we get a distress signal telling the Straw Hats to go to Punk Hazard, or
Which,
letting them know that it exists.
and at this point, I was just like, Punk Hazard is just a fucking cool combo of words.
Yeah,
It just sounds cool.
the first thing you said when you heard that name is like, "Wow, that's a cool name,"
Yeah,
and that's still true to this day. So
to this
this
day.
we find out later that this is Brownbeard, right? Um, Now, I've heard that the Straw Hats don't stumble in Punk Hazard by accident, but even rereading it, I must have missed how it wasn't an accident that they ended up here. Did anyone manage to catch that? Or did I just read, or did I just hear that wrong?
when you say by accident, do you mean like,
Their accident or someone else's accident?
Yeah.
Well, no, like, if they didn't get this random distress call from Brownbeard and his
Mhm.
men, they would have never gone to Punk Hazard and never met Law there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't catch anything that made it seem like it was a manipulation kind of thing. At least from
'Cause,
what
I read
I
somewhere
read.
that it was, but I was like, I was looking out for it, but I don't know.
I'm not sure. Like, if people wanted to manipulate this into being, I don't know how they could have. Because, like,
Mm-hmm.
I think the news is out that the Straw Hats are back in action, but it's been such a short amount of time, and how could anyone know where they are?
I mean, the only person I can think of that wanted this to happen would have been Law.
Yeah.
But I think even then, like you can read a little bit and get into it, that Law has this idea that he's formulating and then realizes the best course of action is to bring the Straw Hats in.
Yeah, no, Law never planned for them to show up. He's just like, this is my opportunity to turn this around.
In fact, that's what kind of causes the chaos is that they literally run past him. And he's like, "What the fuck are y'all doing here?" And then has to like start killing everybody.
Oh, that Law.
Yeah.
This so I grabbed this page because one, mysteries. Luffy and his freaking mysteries are always like he's been having these moments throughout the post time skip. Like, it's a mystery current. And they're like, no, it's not. Some guy just got killed.
I reading this arc, I read through most of it. I think I'm like one volume away from finishing it.
That's a lot.
I mean, it's like 10
This is
chapters.
a dense arc. Like,
It is dense.
makes every
It's
chapter
a
count.
lot, but like Luffy's so fucking funny in this arc.
Yeah,
Like, there's a lot of highlight jokes.
I think it's just a funny arc in general. Like
Yeah.
I think it might be one of the funniest arcs. This is also maybe it's not the first drop, but it's like the first drop in a while about the land of Wano and its samurai and
Yeah.
how powerful they are. I think the only other time it's really come up is
Wasn't
Oars Jr.'s hat and then Ryuma from Thriller Bark.
Yeah, and like to give an idea of how this shows us how powerful these fucking swordsmen are. Like, Brook is no slouch, but he was getting a hard time from just Mr. Man's torso that
Yes.
can't see and has no legs and is freezing cold.
So also fun thing about this page, this is the lightning we saw a rogue going towards, or the island full of lightning that a rogue went towards.
Yes.
Right before the time skip, and then we get
Yeah.
reintroduced to Shigi and Smoker.
Yo.
Dude, post time skip smoker.
He's looking
Yeah.
clean.
He is looking clean.
Wonder where he got that scar from. Smoker
And,
is now the lead of G5, which is a rowdy sect of the Grand Line Marines, and he's
Oh, yeah.
a vice admiral now. So that's like the second best role that you can have in the Marines, aside from admiral, and then I guess Grand Admiral or head admiral, whatever it's called.
He's on the same level as Garp now, which is kind of nutty.
I just grabbed this because I like these kid versions of characters Oda's been drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things Oda started doing.
The Perona is really cute, and here my favorite tidbit is she has Kuma A, so she must have had Kuma B, and then her current Kuma is Kuma She.
Yeah.
So very cute.
Damn.
Zoro just fucking dices this dragon like it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Dragons.
Yeah.
What's cool is
that
this is a reference to Wanted, the canon one shot or a canon side story that Oda wrote before One Piece, but it's canon in the One Piece world.
Yeah.
The first time I saw this dragon, I was like, "Oh man, is this gonna be mythological dragon Zoan user?"
That's true, because there are mythological fruits now introduced.
Yeah. And there are dragon Zoan users even now. So
that's true. Yeah, there's Momonosuke, but this is just a dragon that we don't really get much explanation on, aside from the fact that Caesar or Vegapunk, I think it was Vegapunk, created him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he just created some fucking dragons because
Vegapunk.
Fucking Vegapunk.
And there's the line that I threw to Willer, but there's a line that says like the celestial dragons liked it so much they gave it a name, but Brownbeard forgot the name. I'm just like, this is either the biggest throwaway line ever or the single most important line that we're going to forget about for this arc.
Yeah. One thing about Punk Hazard is that as like you can tell retroactively that this is the point where Oda planned out every single arc. Like as he was writing this in fucking 2013 or 2014, he had finished the through line of One Piece, and you could really tell with how much shit he's setting up. I have no idea what's going on with that dragon's name because they don't ever say it. So
it's going to come up in some sort of flashback to Celestial Dragon. It's like, oh, I'll be free, or like Vegapunk's flashback or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, who knows? Anyways,
Winamon. So this is Kinemon, but not in the configuration that I'm used to. Because they put his fucking body back together wrong. This is the samurai that was cutting up Brownbeard's men. He's looking for his son, Momonosuke. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to bring this one up because of this panel in particular. This is more like a Joe Willer thing. I feel like his dialogue here it feels out of character considering future scenes.
Yeah.
So either this makes Kinemon really non-accepting of certain allies of his, or he changed his mind later on.
I think it's the other, definitely the latter.
Okay, yeah. That actually, so it could go two ways. Either this hurts his character or enhances it greatly from one.
No, I think it's
one throwaway panel.
I think it's definitely the latter because he mentions not liking pirates, and I think with what knowledge we know now, why he doesn't like them.
Well, I mean the thing about like how chauvinistic he is to Nami.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But to bring up the fact that like I think it's more of a character development thing where he's just gotten used to.
Could be. We're definitely going to talk about stuff that I'm not sure if it's character development or if it's Oda fucking up, and we'll really get to that when we talk about Zoro in this arc. But we'll get there.
Don't imply that Oda has ever fucked up.
I mean, he made the Davy back fight. Psych. That's not.
Psych.
That is not how we operate here. These fucking kids getting hyped over Frankie is like one of the best running jokes of this arc.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And also like this running theme that Oda's like, women just don't like robots, dude. They don't like beams. They don't like robots.
Yeah, because there's this one panel later in the arc where people see Frankie and like every single dude has laser eyes, and then every single girl is just like, I mean, you know,
quiet, yeah. So Momonosuke isn't here, and this is where we first get a glimpse that something's wrong here. Because like they're talking about Caesar, but they also want to go home, and I think at this point they make it seem like Caesar is a good guy, and Frankie. I think Frankie's here, crying about like their predicament. But like the stuff that happens to these kids as this arc goes on. Like we just get a glimpse of like their quote unquote sickness here, but it's really fucked up.
Yeah,
It's fucked up.
I'd argue this is the darkest arc in One Piece.
It's pretty up there.
yeah. Nah, never mind.
Nami having a great moment here, I really liked as well. Because like it's just like her standing up for the kids moment, and like Nami is she's got a good heart, and she'll step down and she'll be brave when it's time to go.
Yeah, and you know, these are moments that are good for Nami because like often when it comes to like whenever they first meet the inhabitants of islands on their journeys, I feel like she's usually one of the ones who's slowest to take to them.
Yeah.
Usually she's like, you know, I'm gonna do whatever's gonna fucking get me paid, right?
Yeah.
But this is one of those moments where she's like, okay, like no, we have to do this.
Yeah, like here's Sanji's being the rational one, where it's like maybe this is actually a hospital and we have no reason to not get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But Nami knows better.
I think this also relates back to her character in Arlong Park, where like she was basically an orphan, and then her adopted mom, the one person that took care of her, was stripped away from her. So I think there's a little bit of like connection of like, oh, I know.
You could read it that way, but then you could also read that way for about 5 of the other Straw Hats.
I mean, yeah, but like that was a big point for Nami.
Yeah, definitely. Bellamere does come up in this arc, which is fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
But that's later. I really like how we first meet Caesar as just like a Mobius strip of gas. That's so cool.
Yeah. He was really freaky.
I was so confused reading this for the first time.
Yeah, how did you feel about like these early interactions? Like also like Monet showing up. It's like, who is this weird bird lady?
I thought when I saw this wispy cloud, I was like, holy fuck, he's got to be like the coolest ever. And Caesar Clown is not, in fact, the coolest ever, but he's still pretty cool.
In some ways he is. In some ways he's maybe the worst person in this universe.
Yeah. There's a little bit here. I think we skipped over it, but I like the relationship that's grown between Sanji and Kinemon.
Kinemon takes a lot of responsibility. Sanji takes a lot of responsibility for Kinemon. And I forgot why he attaches to him so well, even though I read it.
Because he was the one that put his head together, right? And I was like, let's just take him with him. And then he's like, oh my god, you're so fucking annoying.
Yeah, but then like when it gets down to it, he's like, I'm gonna go, like when they're splitting up in groups, he's like, I'm gonna go chase after that swordsman and make sure he's okay. So like,
I think he has there's something innately about Sanji that it's like, if there's someone in trouble, I kind of have to do something about it. He's the one that's
they're
like
both just so on each other's ass the whole arc until Sanji actually finally puts them back together. As soon as he has his body back, he's like, I will never forget you. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I look forward to talking to about that because I really like Kinemon as a character. So this is where we find out that there was a gas explosion here a while ago, but then it cleared up. And Aokiji and Akainu had their duel for who's gonna lead the Marines here.
God damn.
And you find out that the island is fire and ice because they fucked up the climate so bad that they created a dual climate.
Mm-hmm.
This must be the power of the highest caliber of Logia users. Because, like, when Shanks and Whitebeard clash, they, like, split the sky. So I feel like this is a similar feat of, like, powerful people in One Piece have so much presence and willpower that they will shape the world and weather around them because they're that intense.
Well, they mentioned that they literally split the earth and caught, like, that pool that's in the middle of Punk Hazard wasn't there before. Their fight caused that, and they split the island in half, and all the seawater rushed in and filled it up.
That's right, they did, but yeah. Sick.
Banana boat!
Banana boat. I don't think I got this for the banana boat. I think I just got this because this is linking the samurai who cut our kind. So this is how you can link that. Oh, Kinemon must have cut these weird, what are these called? Centaur men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got this one because so Brooke is split off. He didn't get captured, which I think is really fun because they thought he was just a skeleton that they carry around.
Yeah.
Which is like, I guess they didn't have bounty posters. They just grabbed whoever they had. So they see the skeleton. They're like, they don't know any better, which is fair.
Also interesting that Brooke can be put to sleep by gas.
Yeah, well, Brooke can eat and breathe and poop. So
Yeah.
like, he can like spiritually function as a human despite not having organs, which is just maybe his soul's doing it. But I just think this is so funny where he's like he's just, I'm scared, please say something.
Yeah.
Just like picturing this is so fucking funny to me. It's like, dude, I'm really scared. Stop fighting me. I just think there's something profoundly funny about this.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. That is really funny.
Because
And then you're also Kinemon that's like, what the fuck is going on?
yeah. Kinemon's like, my body's doing something weird. Like they're pretty evenly matched as just a torso, which is what Bradley was bringing up. I think where it's like just the torso is giving Brooke a run for his money.
Yeah.
What did you think about Kinemon using farts to communicate with his lower half, Bradley?
So
I thought it was fucking dumb, but I mean, it's cool because One Piece does it.
Yeah.
So
it's just
already
dumb.
Scary and creepy.
No, because this implies that this is a skill he learned, like, either he learned this skill within, like, a day, or he practiced fart talking previous to getting here. And both are not great.
I like the option where he's practiced it his whole life, and then he finally gets cut up, and he's like, yes, I prepared for this.
I can definitely see it being the latter, where he had learned how to do it.
I don't know. I don't see where in his life he would have fit that skill learning in, but whatever.
Plenty.
So the boy is in the island.
Yeah, and when I got to this page, it's fun because like the last One Piece talk we did, or was it the last One Piece talk we did? I don't know. I was like, I saw things cut up in these centaur people, and I was like, God damn, that looks exactly like something Law would do. Oh well. And then I was like, oh wait, it's because Law did it.
Yeah, explains a lot, right? Great eye, Bradley. By the way.
Yeah, that was really good.
Because
it might also help that you know that like Law is such a popular character, so surely he has to show up eventually again.
Yeah, and like I figured he had to show up sooner rather than later because I was like, everybody fucking loves this dude, but like, what is he not gonna do stuff until like Wano or whatever?
Yeah.
But no, he's here.
I mean, now that you know that there's an alliance, you could surmise that we're gonna be seeing a lot of Law for the next 100 chapters.
I'm like, is he like pseudo Straw Hat at this point? I'm like, holy fuck.
I will just say that he's more of a Straw Hat than he is a Heart Pirate, which is actually a negative to Oda's writing, in my opinion.
I do like Law's character design. I like that he's moved away from crackhead that lives in your mom's basement look.
Oh, he goes back to it at the end of the arc a little bit. I think Law has fire designs, even the crackhead ones.
I just think his face just looks so much better than did previously.
What I mean, he always had the goatee and the sideburns, right?
There was just something the way that like his eyes were drawn. Like he had a lot more like raccoonist eyes looking, and it just looked weird. But this, he still gets that like kind of those dark looking eyes, but they don't look like he's fucking malnutritious anymore.
I think he's pretty.
I think it's pretty. 440 million berries, and he's a warlord now, so that's pretty hot.
It's all right.
I like Smoker's interactions with Law. Like, they're very much, like, untrusting of each other. But we'll definitely get to, like, how everyone has to go out of their comfort zone and trust people they usually wouldn't to complete what they need to in this arc.
Dude, and fucking learning he was a warlord, I was like, holy shit. I think my suspicion was that. So let's see. Jinbei lost a slot, and
Moria got off.
Moria got probably dead. So
probably dead.
Definitely not a warlord. Most likely dead. But I was like, that's 2 slots, and I was like, 1 slot. I feel like I still feel like Buggy took a slot because like the whole ocean is so fucking scared of him. But I think he knows that he can't actually fight that well. So I'm like, I feel like if he had the reputation of a warlord, he wouldn't have to do that much fighting. So without knowing who the other warlord slot was filled by besides Law, I feel like the other slot has to be
I will
Buggy
say in 1 or 2 chapters of where you are, they will confirm one more warlord.
still. Okay.
So you can look forward to that.
Got it.
So this cave is
What
never
the fuck
explained
is this?
till the end of this arc. Who the fuck are all these people?
These fucking dudes, I almost forgot about this.
Yeah, me too. Everyone does. It actually hasn't come up yet in the story. So it's like, who the fuck were these guys?
Yeah.
But I have some theories, I guess, but it's not worth bringing up now.
Well, like, okay, so they mentioned how the island they tortured prisoners. All these guys are wearing prisoner outfits, like they got the stripes on.
Yeah, but why did they freeze these guys? Or why did they freeze over if that's the case?
Because it's funny.
Okay,
Like,
hold on. What if they were frozen over during the Aokiji fight? They were hiding because, like... Well, no, because Caesar wasn't here yet, I don't think.
These are the fucking natives.
I don't know. I can't remember, honestly.
Was Vegapunk was here? See, okay, no, yeah, it might be
No,
that.
Caesar was here because he's the one that
Vegapunk
caused
and Caesar were here. They caused the accident. Then Aokiji and Akainu come. Then Caesar comes back. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. And they did say they got prisoners to experiment in the Vegapunk section of.
But these guys are huge.
Also, Law becoming a warlord. It's mentioned briefly something called the Rocky Port incident, which we don't know much about, but it is some kind of crazy incident in which Law gained the title of warlord. Or they did mention also that he like delivered a bunch of hearts to the Marines
100 hearts of
pirates.
pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he went sicko mode.
and none of them died.
None of them. I mean, they don't die if the Marines don't stab the hearts or something.
Yeah.
So like they're having this intense showdown of like Smoker like talking to Law, and then the Straw Hats just burst through, but it's like in the weirdest way possible because Frankie's a fucking tank and Chopper's in his weirdest form. So it's like such a tense like mood breaker.
And it's funny because there's this animosity between Law and Smoker, and I almost have to imagine that we just went through this 2-year time skip, and before the time skip, Smoker felt like a kind of rival to Luffy, which Luffy probably has a lot of pseudo rivals out there.
Yeah.
Or more nemesis might be like the better word, where Smoker's like, I'm on Straw Hat's ass, I'm gonna get him. But after this 2-year time skip, it's almost like Smoker and Law have been nemesises longer than Smoker ever was to Luffy. Because like Smoker chased Luffy for what, probably a year, and then the time skip happens. Because it took a year for them to get to the red line.
I don't get the sense like that they've been quarreling the entire 2 years. I feel like Smoker got here, and Law knows who Smoker is, and Smoker knows who Law is. But I don't think they've ever really dealt with each other.
Like I didn't know if he was chasing Law like he had been chasing Luffy or anything.
I think
he
more.
He came here by chasing Luffy, and then he sees Law, and Smoker was suspicious as soon as he got here because like there's something weird going on in this island. Like it feels inhabited, but like there shouldn't be anyone here. So what's going on? So he sees Law, and he immediately gets sketched.
And Smoker was actually, I think, planning to ambush Luffy because he was like, I went to Raging Island because it's the most unstable needle point. I know Straw Hat's going to go that way, so I'm going to sit here away from him.
Which is really smart. Luffy did want to go to the Lightning Island. That is where they were going to go, but they went to Punk Hazard after the call.
I was laughing at this fucking question in SBS about Kato here. This fucking drawing that someone sent in and why he isn't a warlord.
Yeah.
This bound to be like 2 berries.
Ikaru's like spear died, so that's a confirmed death. Like Daedalus, rest in peace.
Jesus.
But I mostly got this because Hannibal finally got his fucking dream, and then he just got fat. He got so fucking.
Yeah.
Brook looks really cool here.
Yeah.
I got this because something this arc does phenomenally is every Straw Hat gets a good moment, and a lot of them get like 2 or 3 good moments, and to like spread out your crew of 9 main characters plus Smoker's crew plus Law plus give time to the villains. I thought it was like really impressive, and we'll get more to that as like the action starts popping off. This is where they steal the clothes, which has good faces. And then Law just goes berserk, and like, this is the dumbest fruit. It's too powerful.
It's pretty fucking OP, right?
It's literally called the Op fruit, but you could read it as the OP fruit.
Yeah.
Because
initially my read on it was like, oh, as long as it's inside the circle, he can slice it with his sword and then like move it around. But it's basically like he's God within that sphere.
Oh yeah.
Like, so I think the limitation or the implied limitation is like, it's something if he could naturally cut it with the sword, he can cut it here. But like with Virgo, Virgo was like, my hockey is too strong for you to cut through. You won't be able to cut through it. And then Law said, nah, fam, and then cut through it anyways.
Goddamn.
So, there's got to be some limitations, and we will learn about them in the future, and I really don't like them. They're kind of the laziest, plot-convenient limitations possible. So, as much as I love Law and his fruit, I think it's also like Oda really overdid it, especially in this like particular encounter where he just effortlessly takes out all these Marines.
And the thing is, like, the way you like make this fruit parable is you just make his operating room just because in like Sabaody Archipelago you can only do like a 10-foot radius or a 20-foot radius.
By the end of the arc, he did like the entire factory and island.
Yeah.
So
it's just like, what the fuck?
I really like this line: "The weak do not have the right to choose how they die," and that is actually something I'd like to keep in mind because the variants of this line kind of pop up throughout the New World, and it makes you think that like Oda's forming a theme here with this train of thought. So we'll just keep that in our thinking caps. I just think this is a cool fight. As broken as it is, like, he can't cut through Smoker. Even though I'm pretty sure Law has hockey though, doesn't he? I'm not sure actually.
He does.
Does he?
I think so.
I believe
Probably.
so. Virgo mentions like against the superior hockey character. No, that's against Smoker. So I don't know if Law has hockey actually.
I believe it.
I think it could go either way. Saldeth got tall. Tyler was right. He mentioned that like Saldeth got tall, and I completely forgot that. That's a fucking growth spurt and a half.
Yeah.
I just like mentioning Jinbei because Jinbei's our boy, and we look forward to seeing him again.
Yeah, and Luffy said Law's like Jinbei. Aww.
Yeah.
And also, I was talking to you guys about this. I feel like Luffy's the only person on the planet who could call him Traffy and not get fucking killed immediately.
Yeah.
I feel like Luffy and Law's relationship is very unique. Like, like there's no one to Law like Luffy. Like, that's a very unique relationship they got. How do you feel about the body swapping? It didn't last for too long, but like for the second fourth of the arc, it was like there the whole time, and there was multiple body swaps where like they swap another time with some of the characters.
I thought it was really fun.
It led to some funny moments. I particularly like Robin being like, "Don't ever talk inside Chopper again, Frankie." Like, I'm so glad your body's back, but don't ever do that again.
And I like how he drew their faces when they're
on
like
their
this.
heads.
Yeah, like I like Frankie Chopper. I think that one is probably my favorite.
I think Chopper Sanji is pretty good too, just because Sanji gets a really funny face as a result.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fucking Frankie being, or like Sanji being a goofball.
Yeah.
Nami Frankie's pretty, like, these are all like, he chose the right swaps.
Oh yeah.
we get our first little glimpse at Caesar here.
No.
Also, Law switches with Tashigi, which is just absurd.
Look, this is the real swap right here.
I think Tashigi Smoker is so off-putting to me.
I think it's great.
As in, the Tashigi in Smoker's body is really off-putting.
Oh
yeah, that's off-putting. Smoker and Tashigi's body, though. Let's be real.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just there's a certain degree of you can't wear your shirt like that, Smoker. It's not gonna always cover your nipples, all right?
Come on.
This is too convenient for me.
Come on.
They never bring it up, but does Tashigi and Smoker's body have Smoker's... I guess she does, because Frankie has access to the human fruit in Chopper.
Yeah. No, you keep your fruit. Your fruit's not... I mean, first of all, we gotta talk about the concept of swapping a heart. It's the same as swapping a conscience. But
wait a minute.
He's not swapping their heart. Like, the visual is a heart pops out, but he's not actually swapping your heart.
Because the physical heart looks like a real life heart. Mm-hmm. But whenever he does this, it's like a cartoon heart that pops out.
Yeah.
So it's like a soul getting swapped.
Yeah,
It's kind of weird. Yo!
This is a great cover.
That's a badass one. Mary! It's fucking Mary! Oh.
The Mini Mary.
The Mini Mary, yeah.
The Mini Mary. But still...
Man, I just like how Oda draws guns. There's just something about it. He makes them look so cool.
When he draws not dumb-looking guns.
I think all his guns are cool.
These are some real-ass boy guns right here.
I know.
These are... The one Usopp is holding is his normal gun design, and I think that still looks badass. Mm-hmm. I like how Luffy's wielding the fucking Rafika, or a mini Uzi.
He's going akimbo.
He got a fucking Uzi.
That's how Luffy would play Call of Duty, was just, I want to run forward and do things.
I want to use... I then learned that I can zoom in my iPad and focus on the things I want to focus, so it's easier for me to remember what the fuck I want to talk about.
You can also
welcome to the next evolution of Roundabout Cast discussions where I learned to zoom. Now, why the fuck did I pick this one?
Oh shit!
There's a mole.
The mole in G5. They introduced Virgil and the idea of this mole pretty quick, but I have to commend Oda for how invested he got me personally in this idea of Virgo betraying G5 with not very much page time, but I don't know what it was, but the action of it just hit regardless of just meeting these characters.
Yeah, I think it's one thing that when I was rereading this, that stood out to me is that Smoker and Tashigi's crew here are very much like Luffy's crew, where they're like, yeah, it's our vice admiral, it's our captain, we love them, we want to do everything for them, and they're all just good lads.
I don't know if that's anything like Luffy's crew.
Well, they enjoy each other's company.
They enjoy each other's company, and Tashigi and Smoker really care for their ruffians, and and I love how they're they coddle Tashigi she's their prize princess, she's the one good thing they get to look at every day. So, but no, you're right. It's a very wholesome dynamic with this crew, which is why I think the Virgo shit actually worked for me.
I remember reading that the first time, and like, holy shit, this is rough.
Yeah. As long as man joins together to conspire against men, there's no such thing as perfect, untainted organization. Mm-hmm. This is a really good line, which can have many connections throughout the story. One that also comes up later is the idea that pirate alliances just don't work out. And it is something that is hammered home a couple of times throughout the time skip. But also, the Marines conspire against man. And I want to talk about the macro storytelling with Smoker. I feel like Smoker's story is going to come in 3 beats. And we are currently in the 2nd beat.
Yeah.
But I feel ultimately this is kind of ironically foreshadowing that your organization is also untainted, Smoker, and you're slowly coming to realize that.
Yeah.
This we're gonna talk about Smoker. I have some reservations to talk about it near the end when we get to see the full scope of his arc in this arc. But we'll just keep that in mind. So Here's some supernova stuff.
Yeah. Called the worst generation. What do you think, Bradley? What do you think?
Well, I've already heard that a million times up till now, just not in this story. But I still think it's a fucking cool name for this generation of pirates, especially since like I think it was either one of you guys or the SBS that said Oda like came up with all of the 11 supernovas like right before they were introduced.
Yeah, the editor was like, this arc is kind of like lacking, so like it'd be cool if you could also introduce some rivals for Luffy. And then Oda went ahead to make these rivals extremely relevant for the story.
In a moment, he just made the rest of the story, I guess.
Probably one of the best editor notes ever given to Oda, because I think a lot of these characters are really cool and do a lot of this time skip. It's hard. I
can't imagine One Piece without Law. Like, that's impossible.
Yeah, I can't imagine I can't imagine the current arc with the characters from the supernovas in it. Like, it's kind of nuts.
Yeah, definitely.
And great job, also, man, shout outs to Brownbeard, right?
Okay, let's talk about Brownbeard, because when Brownbeard was introduced, Bradley gave him so much shit. And I was like, I don't know, Bradley, maybe you'll come around to Brownbeard. You're like, nah. But like, pretty cool guy, actually.
I mean, he's a cool guy, but he ain't no Whitebeard or Blackbeard.
Look, I'll give him that, but he hit me emotionally in this arc. Like, he genuinely trusted Caesar with his life and is crushed to find out that his men got like used by Caesar. And even in the end, like, he's super willing to get captured and arrested if it means that they can treat his men, you know? So like, that's a really cool conclusion to this character I never thought I'd give a shit about.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting theme in this arc is about like manipulation of your superiors and like the actual superiors that care for you and stuff like that, because it's relative in every faction of this, you know?
Yeah, because like it's Smoker and Tashigi fighting for their people, and Brownbeard fighting for his people, Kinemon fighting to find Momonosuke. You got Virgo as like the traitor for the Marines, like just a lot of betrayal in this arc.
Yeah. And then you have Law and Joker as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very poignant one, actually.
Yeah. So it's just an interesting theme that got brought up here. I was like, this is it's kind of neat that you bring the Marines into this and you get to explore like both halves of this dynamic that we have in this world. But I think also it brings to mind that, like, you know, the Marines are almost basically another pirate faction or just another faction in general, and so they go through the same things that everyone else goes in this world, and you can't like throw that away.
Yeah, which makes Smoker's like organization line even better. Here, Caesar Clown, very cool design. I love the way he's animated in Pirate Warriors 3. It just feels good to move around with that guy. He was the number 2 scientist alongside Vegapunk, but you clearly get the sense that like he was quite beneath Vegapunk.
Yeah, like he's second place, but like the gap between him and Vegapunk is fucking gigantic.
Yeah, it's the gap between One Piece and whatever's below One Piece.
Right.
This is like the kids actually hitting their weak point with this candy stuff, but also you get Chopper doctoring throughout this arc, which
Chopper's doctoring.
Gaio. But like Chopper has some really good emotional moments and doctor moments. Like, this is one of the best arcs for Chopper. Like, after like I kind of forgot how good he is in this arc. He's actually like
it's the last arc for Chopper, my understanding.
Yes, that's actually correct. But like he got a good send off for his character. We find out that like Caesar's been drugging these kids so that they come back for another hit, and Brownbeard's not accepting the truth yet. So they're really building up to that moment where he does have to face the reality of who Caesar is.
I like that panel of them looking through the vial and then the kid's face is all blacked out.
Yeah, that's too stylish. It's too good.
Yeah, it's like, come on, Oda, this ain't Breaking Bad.
But it is. It's always been.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I got a problem here. Usopp has this very powerful sleeping weapon. The Straw Hat should win every fight for the rest of the series, right? Like, no problem.
Well, he has to regrow these, and they probably take a while to regrow.
Save it.
It's a special plant that can only grow one seed at a time, and it takes the amount of time that's between arcs.
Oh my god! So everybody gets one. He gets one per arc.
Yeah,
Time.
sure.
Bonclay's alive!
What's up?
Woo!
God damn, what a fucking legend. I'm
fair,
glad he's...
To be fair, Bonclay being alive, also chapter 666, Yeti Cool Brothers.
Yo.
But, so, in Impel Down, a reason why they couldn't treat Luffy, they wanted to treat Luffy after he got fucked. But Magellan went all out and poisoned him with so many venoms that they couldn't possibly get through. However, Bonclay, you can surmise that he just got one shot by the Hydra attack. And then they're like, okay, well, we know how to treat this Hydra poison. I guess we'll throw this guy back in prison.
Mm-hmm.
So him being alive, not the craziest thing. Not as crazy as Pell or Papaga.
Goddamn.
No, Papaya, who survived the lightning blast from Inaru and so on.
Hey.
And, okay, so here Caesar's talking to Law about his drugging of the kids like it's no big deal. And Law is like, dude, I don't like your style. You remind me of someone else. Joe, I'm not sure what he's talking about.
It's obviously Gaimon.
Would you happen to know, Joe?
I think
there's someone that came to mind, but like Law doesn't really know them that well at this time.
I was thinking,
is it not a Doflamingo?
I was thinking that.
I don't. As far as I'm aware, Doflamingo doesn't do anything quite like this, so it just seems like a weird comparison.
But it's manipulative.
Yeah, that is Doflamingo, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just like his style of doing things, like he's always fucking smiling and laughing, and everyone's a pawn to him.
That is very true. Okay, I'll lock it in. That's my final answer. Answer me or pay the price, Laser Pew. You better not
don't you dare make fun of Laser.
Yeah. So good.
Yo, the Yeti Cool Brothers are so cool.
They're pretty badass.
Yeah, I didn't even realize how cool this fight was until I reread it. I was like, holy shit, this is actually like really fun and like actually like a good fight.
I've always loved their designs, and I very much like this moment in particular, where Chopper picks up a fucking mountain cap. That's like maybe the strongest strength feat for the Straw Hats, out of any of them, as far as raw strength. So like that's cool. Like you could argue that Chopper has potentially the highest raw strength, probably followed by like Zoro and then Luffy.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it.
Which is really cool.
This is also Frankie that's doing this, not actual Chopper.
Well, but it's Chopper's body.
Okay.
And then Law shows up, and he's like, man, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Then
he turned around that way and tried to stab him with a huge-ass knife. Did you see that?
Yeah, he tried. Good try.
He tried.
This is the panel that changed One Piece forever.
I saw this, and I was like, oh, time for the end of One Piece to start.
Yes, like Oda always planned for One Piece to be the story of taking down the four emperors, and then he waited 666 chapters to properly start that storyline.
Yeah,
like, that's crazy. Because by his own admission, introducing the warlords gave him too much stuff to work with, and completely threw his original plans out the window and like expanded them greatly. So.
Oh really? That's interesting.
Yeah, the warlords are why One Piece is long as long as it is.
Because he was like 7. It's like, oh fuck.
Well, he could have just like, but then like Oda can't contain not making them cool and not like.
Yeah.
He's like designing Crocodile and Moria. He's like, actually, these guys could have their own arcs. And actually, we recently found out Doflamingo was not going to get his own arc.
Oh,
and
damn.
then,
oh my god, really?
The longest arc in One Piece might have not have happened. So
wow.
It's like, that's pretty crazy.